Hello, hello, hello. How is everyone this beautiful evening? I just want to say good job that everybody's muted and there's like nobody talking whatsoever. I haven't even muted anybody on this call. So anyone want to share any kind of awesome stuff on how they are starting off this amazing week? You want to share a good story or give some insight and some love as we get this call started? We'd greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, I got a bit for you, mate.
What in the world?
Chris.
I realized my volume was off, and I thought I had no background noise, and I realized I had no volume.
I got some for you, mate.
Go ahead, Aaron.
I have 3 parcels turned up in Australia this morning on my doorstep.
Awesome.
Back from May and the start of June, so things are looking good in Australia.
Awesome. So stuff starting to pick up, starting to show up. Good stuff.
Yes, mate, yeah.
And I know that if you saw the webinar, you guys are getting closer and closer to be legally open. Aaron's been one of the trailblazers going out there, launching into a new country that we are not currently legal, but they're still making stuff happen and rocking. So great job, Aaron.
Cheers, mate. All the best.
Who else wants to share? I'm going to mute everybody because there is some background noise. So who else wants to share any kind of love, any kind of great experience you guys are having?
I'll share, Chris.
Go ahead, Robin Grisby.
Hey, you. All right, guys. So we're doing something super fun, and we have a customer page, and we are actually collaborating together with a group of the promoters that are in Happy Coffee Talk that we talk every day. And we created a customer incentive like give back, and we're calling it a dose post win. And so what we're doing is we made it to where we challenged the customers. We just said, hey, we totally appreciate you guys and thank you for supporting us. And we, love that you're here, loving the product, but we want to give back. So we did a video with all of the promoters, and we all had a piece that we shared about how to earn tickets to do the drawing at, end of this month. And so we posted the video in there, and then today Dawn went in and did a live and taught and just kind of explained it again. And then she created like a ticket, how to earn tickets, and wrote it all up in her little, we all have great skills in the team. So we all kind of just collaborated together. And so now we're starting, it took a few days because we posted and nothing happened at first. We're like, okay, so nothing happened. So we're like, all right, what do we got to do? So then we started tagging some of our personal customers in the the thread. And then today I see Shar went in there, Garcia, she went in there and she did a live, and she kind of said how to post a live video. So what we're doing is if you post, we encourage the customers, if they go post on their personal page and tag the person that shared the product with them, they get 1 ticket. If they post a picture and tag the person that shared it with them and then screenshot it and put it on our customer page, they get 2 tickets. If they post a live video and tag the person that shared it with them and then, share it into the customer page, they get 5 tickets. If they get from that, if they get people ordering from their friend who shared it, they get 10 tickets. If they decide that they want to become a promoter like us because they see, the value in it, and the people order from their new link, they still get 10 tickets if they turn into a promoter. So today it's starting to go. So we're seeing, live videos, we're seeing picture posts, and it's really cool. And then in our thing that Dawn made, we're we just tagged admins as we okay the post. We go underneath the area where we're showing the tickets, and we just say, you know, thank you for your support. You've earned 2 tickets. You know, thank you for your support. You have 1 ticket. And it's starting to work really well. It's pretty excited. So what we also did is all of us decided we're going to give away a product. So right now we have like 25 products we're giving away. Each one of us decided what did we want to contribute to our customer. So we're going to have 25 tickets to pull to give away products. And then each promoter that offered that up is going to mail that to that customer. So that's what we're doing, and we're super excited because it's creating tons of momentum and positive energy. So just had to share that with you guys.
Good stuff, Robin, as always. I was talking to Lori Wyndham earlier, and, you know, we were talking about, many of the leaders have been talking about the format of how we want the Super Saturdays to roll. And so I reached out to Lori Wyndham to get any input that she might have. And she was sharing, you know, that they've built their business primarily off of the Facebook groups to where they have a customer page, very similar to what you're talking about. I know that Jennifer Marsh has been, you know, I would say very extensively building into that. I know that Marcy is now doing a lot of the, you know, the Facebook group to where people are sharing their stories, very much like what Robin's sharing. So it's funny how people in different organizations are all doing very similar things. And she had some great insights on that exact thing. So great job, Robin. And that's a good idea. If you have a leader that already has a customer page, why not participate in that, right? Yes, we have the Team Rise one, but I know many of the other leaders have their own groups and pages. And the reason why I'm saying a leaders page is because it's probably not the best thing to do is to start as a brand new person to go try to start a customer page when you don't have many customers. It just doesn't really make a lot of sense. But when you can pull multiple people's customers together and everyone share and play team, it's really good. And it's also self-policing, because of course you always want to use integrity when if it's somebody in the group that you didn't put in there and they're asking a question or commenting, that doesn't mean go out and try to prospect that person, right? So it's, you know, you do want to use, of course, I guess the word would be coof in that situation. So great job, Robin. Anyone else have any great tips or some great stories from the week so far?
I would like to pass on my experience if I could.
Go ahead.
In the last, say, 8 weeks, obviously being in Australia with the delay, with the new product, that sort of stuff, and having to hold back on things, I've been relying on a lot of the entrepreneurs in Australia and purchasing products. Now, what I started doing with a lot of my new customers was offering a 15-day experience. Now, I know that basically the plan was, you know, to do the full 30 days, but I have found that in the last 6 weeks or 8 weeks, I've actually brought on 5 more customers who are now ready to, when things get finalized in Australia, to jump on board as representatives and entrepreneurs. So I spoke to Kim, and Kim, I liked the fact that I used the word experience, and I found that 2 weeks was a good grounding experience to see how it worked for my clients. I have one client who just loved every fortnight she was buying, and now she's bought a 4-month dose. Now she knows there's a wait period, but she is on board. So for myself, I had a great thing with that, doing the 15-day experience and just building up. And now basically I'm liaising with everybody, and that's how I'm building my network. So I changed the wording, I changed my mindset, and when things get settled in Australia and New Zealand, then I'm going to boom. So that was a great thing for me from my side. So I'm very happy with that.
Awesome. And I just want to congratulate you. And guys, Andre, it is Andre, correct? I see Andre Warwin. So he's in a country that's really not even legal. They're not getting the product as easily as everyone else can. They're basically still building, right? He could easily say, you know what? product has been seized. Customs has stopped different shipments, and this has happened and that happened. And he could easily go, you know what, this doesn't work, I'm quitting. You know what, he's going, well, I can't get access to a whole 30 days, so what I'm doing is I'm just getting 15 days and getting people, and he's moving through these things. And guys, I really want to point out that when it opens up, Andre's going to have already an awesome database of people that are ready to get started, that now they can get access to the product, and then boom, he's going to have a big old check, and people are going to go, they're probably going to make excuses and say how Andre did something that wasn't fair. Or they're going to want to make reasons or whatever. But no, what it was is tenacity, vision of what's possible, and pushing through the obstacles instead of using those obstacles as excuses. He's finding ways around that, because that's what winners do. I just want to point that out. Congratulations, Andre. Because look, there's people that are here in the States that, you know, their order might have got lost or whatever happened, and they're quitting on themselves or giving up. And I just want to commend him, because, again, it's way harder for him than it is for many of the people that I'm watching complain. So I just wanted to point that out. Again, great job. And every single one of us have that ability to do that, to push through all those challenges and create whatever it is that you want to create in this. Thank you so much for sharing, Andre.
Sorry, Chris. And just finally, I also want a big shout out to all of the entrepreneurs in Australia and New Zealand for supporting each other. It has been a rough ride across the board. I have friends in the States who are struggling as well, but we're all bouncing off each other. We speak to each other, and we're getting there. So once again, thank you for supporting me, all of my contacts in Australia and New Zealand, for making my journey easier, and we will all band together. So thank you very much to everybody out there.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. Hey, do
Chris?
we have a Sean
Chris.
Kim out there?
Sorry, Chris. Sorry.
Yes.
I'll come in later.
Oh, or you can go. I was just going to ask them to, they had talked to Robin and started the whole coffee talk too. And I just wanted to have them share a little bit about that, but go ahead, Carol. It's all you.
No, they can do that now. I'll jump in later. I just wanted to jump in a little bit and talk about what Andre was saying.
You're
but
good.
Go ahead. Okay. All right. You know, hats off, because opening countries is really, really tough. And you do have to continually solve for X, and you do take risks, like your product getting seized at the border. And these guys have obviously pushed through that. I did that with a former company for over a year. I know how difficult that is. And it's super tough. So hats off to you and your Australia, New Zealand team for doing that and trailblazing. That's how countries are open. And that's when everybody says, oh, you're so lucky. No, you're not lucky. You're tenacious and you have a vision, and hats off to you. But what I'm going to say is, in Canada and the US, Canada, they're shipping tomorrow. I don't know if that's come out yet or not, or if you talked about that. I was a few minutes late getting on. I just had some did you talk about that?
Nope.
Okay, shipping out tomorrow. I had some correspondence from Larry. Instead of the 23rd, they'll be shipping out tomorrow. There is an email that's going out to everybody, supposedly later on tonight. That should be hitting it. So that's super exciting, because that's like a full week before that correspondence came from Janine. So super good news for everybody in Canada. And I know that a lot of us have been solving for X. I also know that some people have halted their business to say, I'll wait until everything is all good. And when you listen to someone like Andre speak, you think, oh my gosh, all we have to do is try and find a way to get some product into people's hands. And you heard about Robin and her team and how creative they were. It is the time to get creative, because all we do are two things. We market and we innovate. And this is when you start to innovate and you really put your heads together, and you come up with your team and you say, how can we get over this hump? Who's got what product? Can we send 3 sticks of coffee out to everybody? Can we go to the dollar store and get a mug and throw a stick of coffee in and let our customers know how much we appreciate them, or whatever it happens to be? But whatever, something. Do we give a shareable or a couple of shareable packs? you get resourceful. And, I love hearing about people opening countries because all they're doing is day in, day out, living a resourceful lifestyle. So in Canada and the US, we've got 2 open countries. Canada will be finalized. We can get stuff across the border, no problem. And very easily and relatively inexpensive. Sorry, there's some background noise somewhere.
Yeah, I'm trying to press mute on it. It won't. Let me go to the wall and see what happens, and then.
Sure.
Let me see here.
Is that good?
Yeah, I don't know where the mute. Oh, there it is. Mute all and then unmute, please.
Okay.
All right. It was someone on the phone.
I think so. It's easy to do. We're a busy lot, right? But what I was just going to say is in Canada and the US, we have 2 open markets, relatively inexpensive to get products. It may take a little longer, but we just heard someone today talk about getting their product to Hawaii in 4 days or something. So that was super encouraging. It is happening. We have light at the end of the tunnel right now. So go, go, go. Do not stop your business because of some distribution issues in your business. Australia, New Zealand, they have every right to stop until, product is at least a little bit closer and easier to get in. And yet they're not doing that because they see this and they have a vision and a goal and a dream and they're crushing it. So what I'm saying to everybody out there, just keep it going, keep solving for X. You've got this.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Carol. Kimberly, are you out there? Kim McLean.
I'm here. Hey, Chris. Hey, everybody.
Would you mind sharing what you've experienced? I know that you and Robin have been communicating, and many of the leaders are just kind of picking off of the different things that they're doing to create culture. And share with us your experience from that, if you would.
Absolutely. So real quick, Andrew, you're rocking it. We're so proud of you. When he first was telling me about this experience, the 15-day experience, I was so proud of him because, like everybody said, through the struggles, he hasn't stopped. He just got resourceful and got creative and started doing what he needed to do to make it happen. So super proud of you, Andrew. So Robin Grigsby, in case you didn't know, is a rock star. And yes, she had mentioned that she was doing a coffee talk. And I thought it was a fantastic idea to be able to bring our team together to chat every day. And so I chatted with Robin and asked her how she went about doing it and created this group. We started July the 2nd, and we have, on a consistent basis, probably 8 to 12 of us that get on a coffee talk, just a chat, Zoom every morning. And it's just really cool because we've been able to add value to each other. And, sometimes it's 15 minutes, sometimes it's an hour. And it's just been really cool to see the different people get on, see the different responses that we're getting from people on how beneficial it is and, how much they like it. I'm also had heard on a Zoom a couple weeks ago, Marcy Cavanaugh had talked about the customer group and giving away free product, and then Robin talked about it tonight. So guess what? I'm going to adopt that as well, and I've already sent messages to both of them, and I'm going to make that happen because I think that's super important. But yeah, I think just working from each other, getting ideas that are working to make our business grow and to create momentum and just to create the culture that we have here and that we want in this community, then that's what we're going for.
Awesome, great stuff. It's funny, I was calling Andrew Andre. I was looking at Warwin instead of Orwin.
Yeah, Andrew Orwin.
It's all good. It's all good.
It could have went either way. So awesome, appreciate that. Any other shares, any good value people are using, some things that are working, somebody want to share?
Hi, Chris.
Go ahead, Francisco.
Hey, ¿cómo estamos? ¿Cómo estamos, equipo?
I think it's me again, right?
You didn't get that, huh? I told you I was gonna speak Spanish someday.
There
Okay,
you go.
so what I've been doing is here in the Latino community, they're very passionate about having everything in hand. So I've been doing what I call the 7-day dose experience, like the leader from New Zealand, Australia. Kudos for him. He's doing a tremendous job. I'm doing the 7-day experience. So the 7-day experience is I'm going to the post office. I'm sending everything 7 days, 7 days, 7 days. And I had actually a new promoter yesterday that she came aboard after trying the 7-day experience the first time, and then she was going to travel to Puerto Rico. And she told me, is there a way that you can send me at least 10 days because I'm going on vacation and I don't want to wait until the whole month get to Puerto Rico. And I said, don't worry, I'll send it to you. I knew that it was maybe not going to get there. So I sent it to her to Puerto Rico. She tried the 10 days. Over there in Puerto Rico, we're like ecstatic. Oh, what are you doing? What are you using? You're having tremendous results. She became a promoter yesterday just for trying two of those packs. I just half an hour ago finished explaining the whole business concept to a friend of mine in Connecticut. He's from Puerto Rico, but he's in Connecticut. And he came from the 7-day experience. He tried the 7-day experience. He lost 4 pounds without diet and the 7 days haven't done yet. So he already lost 4 pounds, and guess what? He's becoming a promoter tomorrow.
Awesome.
So we just have to thrive to the situation. You know, everything is not gonna be forever. So all these issues are gonna be gone. And once this is gone, it's gonna be cruise control. So if you know now that you have a 500 horsepower vehicle that is just getting out of the gate, it's gonna get to a point that you're gonna be in the highway and you just have to go cruise control and that's it. But it's like Carol was saying, we have just to be creatives, innovatives, and 7 days experience pack. Everybody's getting is rock and roll. If you have a PayPal, use that PayPal. They pay you the 7-day week. Boom, try the product, and they become promoters. They become customers. So I love this thing.
Awesome. Thanks, Francisco. Anyone else want to share any awesome experience that you've been having?
Hey, Chris, I'll share.
Go ahead.
Can you hear me? All right, cool. Yeah, so I did this 90-day weight loss challenge, and it just finally ended yesterday. It took a minute to end, but 90 days. It seemed like forever, but the results ended up being pretty awesome. My grand prize winner lost 45.8 pounds or something like that, something crazy. She lost all kinds of weight, and she's actually becoming a promoter. She already has customers that are interested in it. She's using the grand prize money to become a promoter. So that's what's awesome about it. It's going right back into the system. And then I had 3 other winners. I ended up doing 4 winners because I had 13 girls sign up all together, and all of them have brought me customers already. And another one, it just did a live today talking about how much weight she lost. She's actually been drinking the product since I think December or something, or January. She's lost a total of 53 pounds, but during the challenge, she lost a total of like 25 pounds. But they're all super stoked, posting their pictures. You know, they're part of the customer thing, getting raffle tickets. And so it's just been really successful. The whole challenge has been awesome. So that's another good thing. I would recommend, if you do it, maybe do a little bit shorter, you know, so you can get results more quicker, I guess, with all the pictures and everything like that. But overall, it ended up being super successful.
All right,
And
sure. You
they're
got to
all loyal
elaborate. All right, what is this 90-day? What did you do? And we're hearing what the results are, but we got to.
It was just it was a 90-day weight loss challenge, and they had to drink the dose and be on Smart Ship for it the whole time. So, and that was the only thing all of them had in common, was just doing the dose. And I put them all in a group page, and it was a private group page where I posted a bunch of information about the dose, just the coffee, the Xanthamax, And then while in there, I posted different products that we have as well. So they end up ordering more other products because they wanted to try them out. And then throughout the time, you know, like I would be like, if you do this kind of post or whatever, I'll send you some mud mask or something and other things. I also send them like workout videos and stuff like that to keep them motivated and to keep them interactive with everybody. I had before and after pictures of other people that had lost weight with the coffee. But it was just like a group, and they all got to know each other. None of them know each other, but 2 of them, and that was it. So, and it's just people from all around the United States that just joined up, and the only requirement was they had to order the dose every month on SmartShip.
Awesome. So that's another ideas, guys. Ideas. It's another idea. People can put things together, be creative, create a fun way, fun culture in what we're doing. So great job, Char Garcia. Who's next? Anybody else want to share?
Chris,
Yes, sir.
I uploaded that Kevin Thomas's video on his CBD oil. It's on Elapreneur 411. That video is like awesome. And then also I put up Gavin's training because he covers at the end. He did that training a couple weeks ago, and he covered the shareables
Right.
really well. He did a great job on that. So that's on Elapreneur 411 too.
Awesome. Thank you, John.
Yep.
Guys, just to let everybody know, I did a getting started training Saturday morning where we really went over and hammered the basics. Like we've been sharing what we've been doing, you know, like what we did in the beginning and how we're going back to that. And I really want to stress, and look, everybody builds different ways. Some people are going to build primarily off the Facebook groups and Facebook Messenger. But for many people, and what we use to grow this thing, like in lightning speed, is we did Zooms every night. And then they went to every Tuesday, every Thursday, and every Sunday. And these Zooms are still being used every Tuesday, every Thursday, and every Sunday. And we have a lot of great stories of people that have used the product. So if you're not doing something, I would recommend promoting into that every week, right? You put people on your team page or your customer group and all that, and they start having questions. Another great exposure is getting them on these Zooms. And the business is a dating process. Like, people might talk to somebody one time and then like the person doesn't join and they're saying, oh, this doesn't work. Well, you didn't marry the first person you dated, did you? You didn't, you know, you have to date over and over and over and over before you get married. You don't marry the first person. So it makes sense if you didn't marry the first person that you dated, then if somebody doesn't join on the first date, then invite them to another date. What is another date? Another exposure to something or someone else. And the Zooms are a great tool or a resource for you to grow your business, where they get to hear it from other people and great stories. And guys, Mark does not do this because he wants to hear himself talk on a Zoom. It's very energy consuming and time consuming to make sure that you're available in front of a computer where you can do this and actually do this Zoom. And he does that for us, so where we can grow our business every single week, no matter what. If you guys are good at presenting that same information, let them know, hey, I want to be a part and help on these Zooms. And what would be great, and I'm sure he would be totally okay with it, is if different leaders, different people were jumping on there and helping share one part or all of those calls, right? Because as of now, it's pretty much only been Mark doing them, and I've done some, and I've done them with other people. But the bottom line is like, even when he's calling, like, hey, can you do this? And to do that and prepare and make sure everything's ready and make sure we have testimonials and all that, it takes a lot of energy, and that's for you. It's not for him. So participate in that. Be a testimonial. Get your people on there. Carol shared with me the other day. Carol, how many people did you recruit through using the Zoom in the last week or so? I know that you said you had popped a bunch of people on there.
Oh yeah. I actually, I recruited 3 people came into my business last week. 6 people are looking at the business right now because of one post and because of Zooms. And what we were talking about is that post, and I invite you all to look at it. It was just a really benign post that I put about really booking a trip to New York. I'm actually taking my husband to the U.S. Open tennis finals, men's tennis final, and I talked about booking a first class ticket, airline ticket and hotel, and just doing it a first class way. And what ensued was absolutely crazy. I mean, it just shocked me in a sense. And I had to sit back and say, why is this? I was having people private message me. I had 3 people join my business because of it. One of them was on the fence until I invited him on the Zoom. And then he was just blown away, absolutely blown away. And he said, I'm going to get resourceful and find the money to join right now. I wasn't going to join until the end of the month. I'm going to join right now because I just got so inspired by the Zoom. So Zooms work, posts work, you guys, and just sell the dream, because there are a lot of people out there in pain. There are a lot of people out there who really need what we have. And if we create that story, see, if facts tell and stories sell, and really to get our message across, create the story. Borrow my story as your own. Like just say, here's a friend of mine, here's a colleague of mine. This is what's possible after just a few short months. I can't wait to, book that on mine. It's coming up soon, whatever it happens to be. But borrow stories if you're new and you don't have yours, whether they're weight loss stories or health wellness stories or financial gains. We have tons of them out there as a team, but tap into those resources, and each one of us is each other's resource. In fact, Shar, if you're out there, and I think you are, it was from your post that you inspired me to make my post. You talked about taking your mom to Europe. And it was actually me saying, wow, I just booked this, first class trip, and I wouldn't have otherwise done it if it wasn't for this business. And I did it effortlessly. I just went, yeah, here's my card, because of what this business has provided for me. So Shar, to you, thanks so much for posting that, because I borrowed from yours. And took it to the next level. And I encourage us all to do that. And just go with what works. If you're looking at posts and you're seeing a lot of really great things and people saying, hey, can you private message me? Hey, I'm interested. Look at the intention of that post and borrow it. And it's the same for Zooms. We just have so much expertise as a team. If we tap into that, nobody has to reinvent wheels. Nobody has to be really an expert. I just borrowed Shar's Euro trip. Thanks.
Awesome. And if you notice, she was talking about a trip, not talking about Elevate Coffee, buy my stuff, all that kind of stuff. I mean, that's not what attracts people. In 2010, when we were launching the company I was with, we were putting posts and bragging about the cars and all the stuff and all the checks and all that stuff on stage. And guys, that doesn't work anymore. Like in 2010, we did that. It worked for a while. And, that ran its course, and you have to become resourceful and change. You have to change with the times. And what is attracting people are stories, but it doesn't have to be, oh, buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff. That does not work, right? So facts tell, stories sell. And this is in every aspect of what we do. Become a great storyteller. When you're talking about the business, tell stories of other people in the business. When I'm talking to someone about the business, I start telling stories of all the different people in our team that's winning. And I tell story after story after story after story, because people think in pictures. People don't think in numbers. They don't think in facts. If facts were reality, then when McDonald's did a commercial, it would be like showing you cows going into the slaughterhouse and being served and all that. And I see people's faces going, and all that kind of stuff. That's the facts, right? But people don't, what they want is a story. You'll see McDonald's, and during, Christmas, they'll have a bear sliding down the whatever and then all this stuff. And they anchor a positive, fuzzy feel good with McDonald's that had nothing to do with McDonald's. But what they did is they have a little story in their commercial that basically sells a feeling, because people buy emotionally. People don't buy by facts. So if you're killing people with the fact X and telling them ingredients and telling them this, it does this and does that and does all this stuff, you're killing them with the fact X. That's what you're doing, right? But if you want to attract people to what we're doing, tell them a story. Many of us probably remember the stories that we were told when we were kids, when our parents read us bedtime stories. They didn't read us bedtime facts. They didn't read us a book on science and stuff like that. They told us stories which we remember, right? Because people think in pictures. So you have to tie into people's emotions through sharing the stories. And just like Carol said, it could be a financial story. She shared a story about being able to travel and travel first class because of her little part-time business that has been able to generate an extra income so where she can make decisions that she might not have made if it wasn't to this. And many of us have those same kind of stories that you can use to attract people. Many people might, you could post a picture and be like, oh my God, congratulations, Mary, you're down this many pounds, blah, blah, keep it up. All you did is change one thing in your life. It's amazing. And people are going to go, what one thing did she change? What did she change? And then basically it opens it up. So again, stories are what's going to really grow your business to the next level. Thanks for sharing that, Carol. Facts tell, stories sell.
And Chris?
Yep.
Just in the last, say, 2 weeks, I went to my brother-in-law's funeral and supported my sister and gave her a dose in the morning, and she had a real rough time. Well, I was watching her during the wake, and everybody was just astounded at how she was carrying herself. And, it's just things like that. And then another friend of mine, she hasn't lost weight, but she said, I have no anxiety. And for that, this product is blessed to me. And so once again, everybody has a different story. Everybody has a different journey. And once again, what you learn from your clients, I have clients who have shed weight. I've lost weight. That's my story. Plus my anxiety and everything else. So everyone's different. And you will glean from that. So just say, well, I haven't lost weight. But the thing is, what are you coming in for it for? Is it anxiety? Is it depression? Is it being scattered? And it's amazing how this product, it hones into what on a deep level is important to you. It's funny how it just works for everybody. And so I will close off now, but seeing my sister, how it leveled her out on the day of the funeral, seeing how my other friends with their anxiety issues, going through a divorce and what have you, and other people who have lost weight plus feeling fantastic. There are so many levels of what this product has given all of us. It's just insane. So if somebody says, well, I'm not really losing weight, but by the same token, I'm going this. So that's when you take notes. You go, yep, boom, 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 because everybody, that's your library of experiences that you can, as you say, in conversation and talk about stories and find out when you're talking to your clients, what are you looking at? What do you want to achieve? And you can say, well, this has happened, and then build and build and build, and then follow their experiences. So it has been a joy. So once again, I'll shut up now, but as I said, and in the last 2 weeks, it has been phenomenal, especially when I've had high emotional issues with my clients, how this product has worked. Anyway, I'll mute now, but thank you very much.
Awesome, Andrew. I want y'all to pay attention. Do y'all remember what he just shared? Can you remember the stories that Andrew just shared? You can remember the fact that his sister goes to the funeral and was able to deal with it from a totally different level and was acting one way prior to taking the product, and then like totally calmed down after she took the product is what I got out of that story. And I still remember when he shared, hey, I shared with this person the second dose. They wanted to basically, they joined the business, and this person lost 4 pounds in this amount of time. These are the things that we remember. Like, we heard these stories tonight, heard one story a little while ago, and they stick in our head. Now, if Andrew goes, well, The reason why this works is because the dopamine receptors in your brain do blow, and I'm just making stuff up, right? But the thing is that if you start explaining why this stuff works, because we think we need to know that, and we need to explain all that stuff. You start explaining all that stuff, and people are going to fall asleep and want to kill themselves, right? Because people don't want to know all that stuff. But you start telling stories like what Andrew just did, and they're like, how do I get this stuff? You know, people don't care what's in stuff. They might say they do. For the most part, there are a very small percentage that are like, I am an ingredient snob, right? But it's a very small percentage of the people. You tell stories of what people are getting out of this, and it's game over. Thanks again, Andrew. Anybody else? Where's Ricky been tonight? I see him on here, but I don't see him on.
Chris.
What's up?
Yes. One of the things that I want to share with you guys is sometimes we get a little bit desperate in the business. Sometimes people can get a little bit desperate in terms of what's going on and not recruiting. People are not jumping the business, especially when you're a rookie, especially when you're just starting the beginning process of building a network marketing company. What you need to do and what it works for me is I keep the consistency and the positive vibe that this is a business of the 80%. So I'm focused my business in acquire customers. I want people to, that's why I did the 7 days, because the more people that try the product as a customer, it doesn't matter that I haven't recruited any promoter. I did, but that's gonna help you like that. This is what Jim Rohn used to say, and thank God for Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn always talk about planting the seed, about no matter what, keep planting the seed, because the only way that you're gonna know what is your closing rate, your closing percentage is the consistency of sharing the information, sharing the story, tell the story. This is how I see this. People, you need to look at them like you are a consultant, but in terms of a friend. For example, if you immediately go to somebody and say, hey, blah, 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 and you start vomiting the information, that person is going to block you immediately. But if you start getting into that person, start that relationship with that person, maybe that person will say, you know what, yesterday I went to the doctor and I need to lose 20 pounds. My blood pressure is going too high. My blood, my sugar is going crazy, it's to the roof. So I don't know what to do. But then you, as building the relationship with that person, say, you know what? I was in the same situation like you. A little bit different in terms of the numbers, but it was kind of the same situation. But I got to know a happy coffee. Somebody shared with me a coffee because I drink coffee every day. So who do you know that drink coffee every day? So I drink coffee every day. So they shared this coffee with me, and you know, my health started improving tremendously. I lost, in my case, this is real story, 30 pounds in 30 days. I lost already 30 pounds in 30 days. So in this case, you share that kind of story with that person, and he's gonna identify with you, not because you sold the story, the product, because you shared the story like you were saying, Chris. Every time that you can maintain consistency in bringing customers to try the product, those customers are gonna switch to promoters because of the simplicity that you maintain everything. Okay? I God bless you guys, and I hope everything continues.
Francisco, how long have you been in the industry?
Really, you're doing this to me? 22 years. I started when I was 18. I struggled a lot. When I was 18 years old, I was sweating my clothes like crazy. I remember my first 3 weeks in the industry, I had to throw away clothes because I was a timid guy. I thought I couldn't do this. You know, for me, right now, I'm struggling in English. I started doing it in Spanish. I've been just 7 years in the States. So imagine me now doing presentations in English. Do you think that stopped me? No. because I already know, and I remember when I used to imagine I was doing one day a presentation with the sharpboard, and I was like this, and I was like to a point that it fell down, and all the guess was, what's going on with this guy? It's not what if I was perfectly a presenter. It is the heart that is going to sell to people. It is how you are. Now, nobody cares until you care. And well, I started like that. 18 years old, part-time basis. I wanted just to supply for my studies in college. Then I fall in love with the industry. 22 years ago, now I'm 40 years old, and I still in love with this industry. I had my ups, like everybody. I have my downs. I used to have a team of 10,000 people. I lost everything. I got divorced. I lost my whole business. And I went from being financially free to working Walmart for 3 months, stocking cheese and putting meat.
Wow.
And crying every day in depression because I was looking for a redemption company. I was looking for a company that take me from point A to be financially independent again with something solid. Not a company that will bring you to a point that, oh, you're going to grow and then they're going to take everything away from you, or they're going to change all the aspects of the business, or they're going to change ideas on the products and the comp plan, mess that up everything. I was looking for something that it would be my redemption, but a company that I can call home. And through that day, that was 2015 to the 18, I was pretty much crying every day because I was missing this until Cheryl and Bill Jocks from Florida, Amber, Cindy Pfister, and then Colt Summers, Char Garcia, all this team, Robin Grisby. I don't know. There's so many people up there in the upline that I don't even know.
You pretty much named the whole upline.
So it's been tremendous. It's been tremendous. I love this company. You know what it's been mind-blowing to me? It's Robert Oblong. For some reason, I got to him in Messenger, Facebook, and we start talking. So I did a three-way with a big guy from another company. He suffered something even bigger than mine. And we connect him in a three-way. And just Robert Oblong, we didn't ask him for anything. We didn't ask for anything. Just Robert Oblong says, I'm going to be in Orlando. What about we meet? And I was like, oh my God, my little hair was going down. I said, oh, I'm going to be bold. This guy's up tremendously. He's so humble. So we met last week in his hotel. We had a meeting with Cameron Carr, the guys from the app. He was there, his family. I took my prospect. My prospect was blown away. He even had some tears in his eyes because everything that we have envisioned for the Latino community come in reality with this company. So I love this team, the community, the family, the culture. I believe this is going to be the fastest growing company and team in the history of the industry. So God bless you guys and thank you.
Yeah, it was funny. We were sitting there and Ricky and I think we were on the phone and we got a messenger from Francisco and he's with Robert and he's like, hey guys, I think it was you and Noel, and it's like, hey, we're with Robert, and I'm like, how in the hell did that happen? But it just goes to show you that we're dealing with real people. The founder of the company is, his heart is huge. That wasn't set up. We didn't basically call up and say we have these big networkers. None of that stuff. It was just, Francisco reached out to him. They connected and it worked out great. So, I mean, we have really, really amazing leadership, all the way starting at the top with Robert and his vision and working its way all the way down, in this whole organization. So I'm just, again, blessed to be a part of this. So, anybody else want to share anything before we move on and then close out? All right, so guys, I just want to share, we've been talking a whole lot, again, about the basics. Tonight, I didn't want to go all into it because on Saturday, I think there was 50-something people on the Getting Started training that we did, and I went into so much detail on the basics that I just didn't want to bore all the people that were on there again, just because we just went over it the other day. That is available on the YouTube page. If you search my name, it's on there. It's really, really, really basic, and it's broken down into the simplicity of what we do. And we've been getting a lot of positive feedback on that video that was done the other day. So if you have any new people, it might make sense to send them that, because it is the ABCs of what we do. And every week, guys, we want to go over the basics. And I believe that tonight, with all the stories and everything that we did, was doing that. But we have to make sure that we keep the main thing the main thing. And we also want to make sure that, look, you can't expect this call to be totally different from a perspective of like, we're going to give this groundbreaking information every single week, and it's going to be something you've never heard before. Francisco shared things that I heard 20 years ago. I heard again, it's still the same thing, right? Talking about Jim Rohn, you're going to hear the same things over and over and over and over again. But until you've mastered it, until you can speak all of these simple things to where it just comes off the top of your head without even thinking about it, then you need to thank God that you're hearing these same things over and over and over again. Guys, there is no new information. There's no new information. A lot of the stuff that we share from a mindset perspective is in a book as old as the Bible. The Bible has many of these things. Speak into existence the things that you want. Life and death are the words of our lips, right? And to be able to focus and visualize, all these things are in that book. It's the same thing. There is no new information. People might twist it around a little bit, and yes, we're going to give you some things that might sound new to you, but it is the basics that is what are going to make you win, because it's the simple little things that every single person can do. Guys, when you share this with somebody, whatever you're saying, your new person needs to be able to do what you did as soon as you walk away from them. So you have to ask yourself, if you're doing this elaborate, whatever it is that you're doing, and you're doing these, presentations, going in all kinds of information, can your new person do what you did when you walk away? And if they can't do what you did, it might not be what you want to do. So what you want to do is you want to share from a place of, can my new person do somewhat what I did right then and there? It's coffee. We're not talking about some complicated scientific thing. Yes, the product does some amazing things, for the brain, but do we have to explain that? Do we have to explain the science behind why people are happy when they drink the coffee? No. Hey, it's simple. Have you heard about the happy coffee? Hey, no? Oh my God, you got to try it. Give them a cup of coffee. Watch them. Hey, can you see why I'm so excited? Yes, awesome. What did you feel? And then they share with you, and you don't have to go into detail. It's all about just getting it out there, sharing. You heard Andrew talk about sharing. You heard Francisco talking about sharing. You heard many people in this group share it over and over and over. The great part about what we do is the coffee does most of the work for you. You just have to get it in the belly. Get it in the belly of some people and let them feel it, and then the coffee will help you do the work. And the other side of it, again, what we talk about, and I'll briefly go into this, but having people connect with why they're doing this. The welcome calls are one of the most important tools in what it is that we do, so where you can share with someone what is the activity that they're going to do. If they tell you, hey, I have an hour a day to do this. Well, what do you do for that hour? Scrolling through Facebook, reading people's posts is not doing the business for an hour if that's what you think doing the business is. No, it's picking up the phone and sharing, hey, have you heard of the Happy Coffee? If you're not sharing the information with people new, then you're not doing the business. If you're not talking to new people every single day, then you're just not doing the business. How many calls did you make today? How many people did you share with? How many people in your team did you talk to? How many people did you do any three-way calls with today? So with that, guys, you want to make sure that your team and your new people are getting on welcome calls where you can help them create that story of what they want for themselves and what is possible. Another thing I greatly recommend is create an affirmation for yourself or an I am statement. Create a what you want to talk about or what you want to create in your mind on who you are and what your life looks like, and start speaking that into existence. And, you know, you'll always hear Robert say act as if, but you have to start acting as if the person you want to be, and start visualizing that. If you haven't done it, what is it going to hurt to do it? The worst thing that can happen is you stay the same. And that's going to help with the positive mindset, which was the last thing I wanted to close out. Thoughts are things. If you are thinking negative crap and you have stinking thinking, then that's where you're going to stay. You're going to stay in the stink zone. And the bottom line is for things to change, you have to change. For things to get better, you have to get better. So when I say for things to change, you have to change your mind. You have to change what's in between your ears. You have to change the way that you think, right? And for things to get better, your thinking has to get better. Again, it all goes back to the mindset. So is skill set important? Yes, it makes sense for you to practice and get better and better and better. But at the end of the day, our philosophy creates our actions. Our actions are going to create the results, but it starts with your philosophy. With that being said, I hope everyone has a rocking night. See you all on Thursday. Everybody take care.
Peace. God bless.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Are you yelling at me?
Thanks, everybody.